What up, world? Welcome to another episode of BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am Brandon Janeau, and like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow. Social media platforms, Instagram, Threads, Brandon Facebook, The BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow. Go follow me on all those social media platforms. I would appreciate it if you did. Really, where you go though is the YouTube channel, man. BrandonJaneauShow YouTube channel. Go follow me. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go comment, like the shorts, like the vids. I appreciate it if you did. Let's get into it, man. So I already did the Wrestling Life episode that is out right now. Uh, I've got some comments already today on this episode because I clipped some stuff. Got some people in their feelings. That means I'm doing my job. This episode of Wrestling Life, though, is my top 10 list. And I've been doing this top 10 list for a minute. I started in music, went into sports, and now it's wrestling. This is going to be fun. This is my top 10 wrestlers of the 2000s. Now, again, this is my list. Let me help y'all out with this. If you don't like this list, you can make your own fucking list. It's very simple. Very simple. Get a piece of paper, get a pen, write the shit down. Even if you want to post it on social media, you can do that too. It's very simple. Very fucking simple. If you are new to this show, if you're new to my list, this is how I do my list. I go from 10 to 1. I explain why each wrestler is on my list, why I have them positioned. Yeah. So let's get into it. At number 10 out the gate, it is the Samoan submission machine, Samoa Joe. You goddamn right he's on this list. When I started watching Samoa Joe in TNA, we talking about the undefeated Samoa Joe? The X Division takeover Samoa Joe? Samoa Joe in TNA is game changing. Game changing. He first got to TNA and they put him in the X Division with Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles and Chris Sabin and Petey Williams and Frankie Kazarian and bro, I go on and on and on and on and on. But when he was on his undefeated streak in TNA, oh my god, man, look here, Samoa Joe's that dude, bro. One of my favorite matches to this day. I will say this to the day I die. If you have never, and I mean never, seen AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, and Christopher Daniels, and Samoa Joe in that triple threat match for the X Division Championship and Unbroken, it's on YouTube, bro. You have no reason to not watch that match. None. That shit on YouTube. Free as a motherfucker. Free as a bird. On YouTube. Go watch it. It is one of the best fucking matches I've ever seen. Probably one of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever seen. And number 9, RVD. If you're a kid that grew up in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, nobody could tell you shit about RVD. You watched him ECW, and then when he finally got to WWE doing the Alliance takeover, he was the most popular fucking wrestler that wasn't supposed to be a WWE guy. He was easily the most popular guy. Easily. Because we watched him in ECW. We watched him in ECW. We saw what he was capable of in ECW. Like, we knew who RVD was. And then when he finally got to WWE, he had to tone it down a little bit. But for the most part, RVD was that dude. Like, there will never be another RVD, bro. Like, I don't think people understand. There's 2 people, I'm pretty sure, in the hood that no matter what, maybe three wrestlers in the hood that no matter what, you always give them some type of sense of, like, respect and love. John Cena, RVD, and Jeff Hardy. Those are like the 3. And then after that, it's a little stretchy. Like, it's a little hard. But those are the 3. It's maybe Stone Cold. Stone Cold maybe 4. But like RVD was that fucking dude, bro. The matches he had in the 2000s, bro, with Chris Jericho. One of my favorite matches is Chris Jericho and RVD and Unforgiven for the hardcore title in a ladder match. Like that is one of the best matches you will ever see. RVD had some matches. Him and John Cena at One Night Stand. Um, man, RVD had what's another match? Him and Christian in the ladder match. That match was good. That was a good fucking match. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. RVD was that dude. Him and Rey Mysterio was a tag team back in the day. Like people forget RVD and Rey Mysterio was a tag team back in the day, bro. Like, and that was one of my favorite tag teams. Like when it was the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, bro, you couldn't tell me shit about them teams. That team was the shit. Yeah, man. But RVD is at number 9. At number 8, it is. Oh, at number 8, it is the rated R superstar Edge. Edge is a personal favorite of mine. Edge is very, very, very goated in my eyes. When I was a kid and he turned heel, I hated that son bitch. I'm gonna be honest. I hated that dude so much. But that's how you know he played his heel role perfectly. Because I hated that motherfucker. I hated that motherfucker. Oh my god. But Edge in the 2000s, when they broke up Edge and Christian, and he and Christian started having a rivalry, one of my favorite matches, again, is Edge and Christian. I think it was at No Mercy. It might have been No Mercy for the Intercontinental Championship in that ladder match. That was a good match. That was a really no. RVD and Chris Jericho was a hardcore match, and I think Edge and Christian had the Unforgiven, and that was no, that was at No Mercy. No Mercy had the ladder match. I know I'm not tripping. No Mercy had the ladder match, but when Edge and Christian actually had a match 1-on-1, and they had another good match in Unforgiven, but when Edge started taking on the rated R superstar, the ultimate opportunist gimmick, you can tell me shit about that dude. That dude was a beast. Like I said, I didn't like him because I was more of a John Cena fan. But that's how good he fucking was. Like you can tell Edge was that fucking good. He was that dude, man. When he got a leader, and I was last night watching clips of them back in the day. Man, that shit crazy. When he won Money in a Bank, all that shit, man. Edge was that fucking dude in the 2000s. You can tell me shit about Edge. Edge in the 2000s? Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Get out of here, man. He made himself into a main event star. That WrestleMania 22 match with him and Mick Foley, bro, is one of the best matches ever. Number 7, Jeff Hardy. You bet your ass Jeff Hardy on this list. Are you serious? Are we kidding ourselves? Are we alive right now? Jeff Hardy's on this list at number and it easily on this list at number 7. Another one. When they broke up the Hardy Boys, we all knew Jeff was gonna be the one that broke off and did the most damage. When he had that match with Undertaker in that ladder match, and Taker was just like, "This motherfucker crazy." Like this motherfucker's crazy. This motherfucker crazy. Jeff was always going to be the breakout guy. We always knew it. We always knew Jeff was going to be the breakout guy. He had his ups and downs. He went to TNA for a little bit in the mid 2000s, and then he came back to WWE. And that run that he had in the mid late 2000s, when he finally put the face paint on, oh man, bro! When he finally put the face paint on, one of my favorite matches is him and Taker in an Extreme Rules match. They are not fighting for a title, nothing. They're just fighting. They just fight on a random ass Friday Night SmackDown, and that was one of the best fucking matches I've ever seen. Him and Edge and Triple H for the title for the WWE Championship, and beat them both in Unforgiven. No, at Armageddon. Him winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Edge at like might have been Extreme Rules. Yeah, Jeff was different, dude. Jeff was different. He never really got a full fledged push, but him and Umaga, him and Randy Orton when they had their rivalry back in the day. Oh man, that motherfucker was bro. When he hit Randy Orton off that fucking scalpel, was climbing high as shit. Oh my! And he hit the swan time, bro. I was, oh my god! I don't know how the hell he survived that. I have no idea how he survived that. Yeah, that was crazy. That was a crazy time. Crazy time. But Jeff Hardy is definitely on this list. Are you kidding me? Now a lot of people probably have him higher, but I got some other wrestlers that I got a lot higher than him. But yeah. Number 6. Fuck you think is at number 6? The Undertaker. Like, yeah, fuck you think is at number 6? The Undertaker. Undertaker's at number 6. Now a lot of people sit there and say, I don't know about that one. Nah, I do. He's at number 6. Taker was putting on bangers, bro. 2000s, him and Kurt at Survivor Series in 2000. The Hell in a Cell match they had at Armageddon with Rikishi, Triple H, Rock, Stone Cold, Kurt. Yeah. And then he left for a minute, came back in an old gimmick, the Dead Man gimmick with Paul Bearer, WrestleMania 20, still one of the greatest moments on planet Earth. When he came back and fought Kane. And I would say his stat run in the 2000s, especially at the mid 2000s, I don't think get enough credit. Like when he fought Kurt Angle at No Way Out in 2006, it's still one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life. Like that match is incredibly great. I don't know how the fuck they put that match on. That was a great match. Him and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 20, at WrestleMania 21. You had, we had a little bullshit peak with Mark Henry. No diss to Mark Henry, but it was just, come on, bro. Great Khali too, like this, whatever. Um, but when he started to settle in, like WrestleMania 23 with Batista, and then that whole rivalry, and that led into the Edge rivalry in 2008. Oh my god! And then it goes into 2009 where he finally goes one-on-one with Shawn Michaels. When he first won the Royal Rumble, he's the first man to win a Royal Rumble at 30. He won the first. He only his only Royal Rumble win. He won it at 30. He's the first man to win a Royal Rumble at number 30. And I know people are like, no, it wasn't. John Cena was. No, John Cena won it the year after Undertaker won it at 30. He won it the year after. That Royal Rumble is still one of the greatest Royal Rumble endings I've ever seen in my life. I think that whole Royal Rumble, 2007 Royal Rumble, don't get enough credit. That's probably one of the best Royal Rumbles they've ever had, like from top to bottom. I mean, the Jack Swagger Matt Hardy match sucked, but no, I think that was in like 2009. But they had like one match that was just really stupid and didn't really make sense. But you had Batista and Mr. Kennedy, which was, whatever. They were trying to make Mr. Kennedy a thing, but it is what it is. John Cena and Umaga was on that card, which is considered probably one of the best last man standing matches of all time. And then you had, and then that Royal Rumble, which was just fucking goated. But Undertaker in the 2000s, bro, I don't think get enough credit. You had and like I said, think about the end, like that whole mid-end stretch. Like Batista in 07 was the rivalry. In 2008 was Edge. And then 2009 was Shawn Michaels. WrestleMania 25, like, bro, like WrestleMania 25, he won another belt. Like yeah, man. Taker, people miss me with that shit. Taker was that dude, bro. Yeah, man. Taker was that dude. When he slammed down again, he was that dude. When he was that dude, bro. If I get my top 5, I gotta get through the list. Gotta go through the list again. Number 10, Samoa Joe. Number 9, RVD. And number 8, Edge. And number 7, Jeff Hardy. And number 6, The Undertaker. Yeah. Number 5. Get ready to fly. God damn it. AJ Styles. AJ Styles in TNA was a moment. You had to live to see AJ Styles in TNA. You had to literally live to see AJ Styles in TNA. He was different, bro. Like I told you about the Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe match. But AJ Styles has some classics in TNA, bro. Like him and Chris Sabin, the X Division, the Destiny, fuck, X Division, Ultimate X matches. I'm sorry, Ultimate X matches, all them shits. Like, yeah. And then when he finally teamed up with Christopher Daniels, and they became a tag team at the end. Oh man, bro, look here, bro. Yeah, man. AJ Styles, that dude, bro. Y'all think the love we have for AJ Styles now, it was like the reason why we have the love for AJ Styles is because what he did at TNA. When they say he's Mr. TNA, that shit is a real fucking thing. If you watched him in the 2000s, you would know he. I will always say this: outside of when you look back at when you think of TNA, you don't think about the man that actually created TNA, which is Jeff Jarrett. You think of AJ Styles. There's a reason for that because AJ Styles was the definition. When John Cena wrote that shit down at Perth, he wasn't lying. The definition of total nonstop action was fucking AJ Styles. The definition. AJ Styles, bro. Number 4, maybe controversial. I know it is. But at number 4, it's Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit. Oh shit. He's one of those separate the man from the art. He's one of those separate the man from the art, bro. I don't know how to explain that one. He's one of those separate the man from the art. Oh shit. How do I explain this? Chris Benoit is as a wrestler. The wrestler Chris Benoit, man, is probably one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. He's, he's one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. I I don't know how to explain that shit. I don't know how to explain that shit. He's one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. I again, separate the man from the art. If we're talking about the wrestler in ring ability, one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen in my life. Picture Kurt Angle without the Olympic gold medal. and wasn't goofy and wasn't trying to be funny. He went out there to fuck you up. And that was his whole play. I'm coming in this bitch to fuck you up. I don't care about nothing else except beating your ass. That was Chris Benoit. That is the perfect way to explain Chris Benoit. Imagine Kurt Angle without the Olympic gold medal in the joke inside. That was Chris Benoit. I want to explain it better than that. That was Chris Benoit. Kurt Angle without the joke inside and then Olympic gold medal. That's pretty much Chris Benoit. He was fucking different. I can't explain it to kids. Like, if you didn't live through Chris Benoit, like, I can't explain him to you. I can't. That's the best way. Kurt Angle without the Olympic gold medal and without the joking side, without the funny side, that was Chris Benoit. Like, that was Chris Benoit. The man was fucking good. I mean, bruh, suplexes, dive off the top rope, cripple across face. The man was just different. If you didn't grow up watching him, you hear his name and you don't know who he is. Like, you didn't watch him. You know of him because of what he did, but you didn't watch him. Like, you didn't watch him in WCW, and then you damn sure didn't watch him in WWE. Like, when he won that title in WWE and he won a World Heavyweight Championship from Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and he beat them at WrestleMania, bro, that was a moment. Like, it was a fucking moment. WrestleMania 19, him, Rhino versus the greatest tag team, the world's greatest tag team, Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas, Eddie and Chavo Guerrero. Like, that was a match, like a real match. Like, bro, one of the best matches you've ever seen. Him and Kurt at Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. I can't explain this man to y'all. I can't. I physically can't explain him to y'all. Like you had to watch him. Like you I can't explain it, bro. Like I'm trying and I can't explain it. Like him and Chris Jericho at Royal Rumble in 2001 for the Intercontinental Championship. I will always remember this match and night. That was my 7th birthday. It was the first time I ever been to a WWE event in my life. My brother and my pops were with me for my 7th birthday. It was the Royal Rumble. And that is considered one of the greatest Royal Rumbles of all time. And I was in the building that night. Nosebleeds, but I was in the building that night. Nosebleeds, but I was in the building that night. And that is one of my greatest moments. And still to this day, remember watching this match. I remember watching this match. Him and Chris Jericho tearing it down. I can't explain it. I can't explain it, bro. Chris Benoit was just, he was different. And when I say different, like I said, he's Kurt Angle without the Olympic gold medal and without the joke inside. That is Chris Benoit. So what you love about Kurt Angle, I mean, the entertainment and all that, but the in-ring ability, that was Chris Benoit. Like, it was Chris Benoit, bro. Number 3, John motherfucking Cena. Who the fuck else will be on this list? John Cena's at number 3. Now, I'm going to put this out there and say this. Brock Lesnar, Batista, and Randy Orton are not on this list. I loved them, but I wasn't a super huge Batista fan. I was a Batista fan, but I wasn't like how a lot of people have now rated Batista. Like I wasn't that type of fan. I think Batista was great. I think Batista was awesome, but Batista's peak was very short. I don't think people realize that. Like when Batista became the man, you realize he won the belt in 2005. Batista was retired by 2010. like Batista was done with wrestling by like 2010. So his peak was only like 5 years. And even in that sense, like John Cena was still a man around this time. John Cena was the man. They tried to push Edge was kind of the man. Batista had up and down times. He was hurt a lot in this time. I love Batista, but Batista to me was never that guy. Like John Cena was that guy. Like Edge was that guy to me. Randy Orton is also not on this list. Now I know other people are gonna be like, "Why is Randy Orton not on this list?" Randy Orton's peak didn't really begin until 2009, and nobody's gonna admit that. I will, because I don't give a shit. Randy Orton's peak. When people say 2009 Randy Orton was crazy, it was the greatest Randy Orton, because that's the only time you remember Randy Orton being actually the fucking guy. Ain't that a bitch? Randy Orton was the guy, but he wasn't that guy until 2009. That's why people remember it so well. Randy Orton was great, but Randy Orton wasn't the guy until 2009. You think I'm tripping? You think I'm crazy? You think I'm lying, don't you? I'm dead ass serious. I think Cena was hurt around this time. Cena was hurt. Batista was, I think, also hurt. Triple H and him was feuding. Oh, John Cena was feuding with Edge and Big Show around this time. He was feuding with Edge, which was a great rivalry. But this is around the time when CM Punk was starting to kind of get going, and him and Ray was doing something. But like Randy Orton really wasn't the menace that we like. That's why so many people only really remember Randy Orton's 2009 run, because that was peak Randy Orton. That was when Randy Orton became the guy. Again, I grew up watching this shit. I watched Randy Orton my whole life, so I knew. So when people see this list, they're gonna be like, "Why is Randy Orton on this list?" Randy Orton didn't really get going until like 2009. Like he had years, but also you gotta realize during this time I think he had like a anger management issue. He was dealing with a lot of like drugs was a part of his time at this time in his life. He was also hurt a lot. Like Randy wasn't the guy, and also he was a part of Rated RKO that kept him out of a lot of trouble. Also, but it also boosted Edge in that sense too, and that's why I kind of also have Edge in this situation. Because I was more of an Edge guy than I was a Randy Orton guy. Not saying Randy Orton wasn't one of my favorite wrestlers. It was just Randy didn't get going until like, to me, he didn't really become the guy until 2009, 2010. Like at the end of the year, that's when Randy, like when we get into the 2010s, you might see Randy Orton and all this. Batista's another one. Like I said, Batista didn't really get going until like 05, 06. But in 05, 06, like you can't even name me a rivalry that was really like a game changer rivalry for Batista. What, King Booker? 07 is when he became that guy. Like when he was battling Taker, and then he got hurt and he had to leave, and then he came back and he was battling Edge and and all them. But then again, he retired in like 2010. So it's like, yeah, his peak was great. But I think people really do forget. Like again, it's like y'all only remember a very short window. And not saying Chris Benoit didn't have a very short window because he passed away in like 07. But even in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, even with a broken neck, when he came back, he was still fucking killing it. Like, no pun intended. But yeah, AJ Styles in TNA was fucking great. Taker in 2000s was awesome. Jeff was a household name in the 2000s. RVD was a household name in the 2000s. Like, I think they had bigger peaks and valleys than Batista did. And same thing with Randy Orton. Like, they just had bigger peaks and valleys than Randy Orton did. And John Cena is one of those guys that also just was. John Cena became Mr. WWE in the 2000s. Like, oh, 03 is when he became Dr. Thugonomics. That shit took him to another fucking stratosphere. Like in 03. And when he was new school and Taker was old school at Vengeance, and then when he finally became a face, joining Team Kurt Angle to go against Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series, that U.S. Championship Open tournament, that U.S. Championship tournament, when he had to go through Eddie and Chris and Booker T, um, best of 5 series with him and Booker T for the U.S. Championship. And then him and Brock Lesnar when he was still a heel around that time for the WWE Championship at Backlash. And people forget, Brock Lesnar's first title defense was against John Cena at Backlash in 2003. After he beat Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19. And then, of course, 05, that's when he becomes the guy. He wins the title against JBL, first of 17. When he got traded or drafted to Raw, bro, the fucking building it fucking exploded, bro. Like, you don't understand. Like, when John Cena got drafted to Raw and he was the first overall pick, Chris Jericho sitting in the ring and he's just waiting for him, and he comes out, man, that fucking building exploded, bro. Like, holy shit. Then 07, he gets in a feud with Umaga. Yeah. And then you have him, what? Shit, even 06, no, 06 really, he's battling RVD and Edge around this time in 06. That summer was goated. Oh, man. 2006 summer of WWE. Edge, RVD, and John Cena. ECW comes back and bro, yeah. John Cena in 07. He tears his, quad. He comes back at the Royal Rumble in 08. Becomes the second person to win the Royal Rumble with 30 at the number 30 spot. The surprise of him coming back was just nobody didn't even think it was possible. The matches he put on in the 2000s with fucking Shawn Michaels and that fatal four way with Shawn, Randy, and Edge and him. Oh my god, yeah, man. Him and Umaga, like I said, at Royal Rumble in 06, like no 07, bro. That like his man, John Cena in 07 to 2000s was crazy, bro. Like, I don't think people give him the proper respect. I do not think now you do, but like that even in the early 2000s, he was putting that work in, bro. Him and Eddie at the parking lot brawl. I think it might be like the last parking lot brawl we've had ever in WWE. Yeah, man. But John Cena is definitely third on this list. Number two, Kurt Angle. Hey, man. I don't give a shit if he was in TNA. I don't give a shit if he was in WWE. Nobody was touching Kurt Angle, bro. Kurt Angle is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Like I said, Chris Benoit was Kurt Angle without the intensity. Chris Benoit was Kurt Angle without the Olympic gold medal and the joking side. Kurt Angle was that fucking dude. There is nobody on this planet that can tell me Kurt Angle wasn't one of the best wrestlers you've ever seen. No one. The fact that the man barely knew what he was doing for like 2 years. Like he barely knew what he was actually doing as a wrestler for like 2 years. Kurt Angle, though, man, in 2000s? What matches y'all want to count? What matches you want to talk about? The Armageddon match where he fought Rikishi, Undertaker, Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, and he was the WWE champion and walked out WWE champion. You want to talk about him going one-on-one with Stone Cold at Unforgiven and taking the belt in Pittsburgh? You want to talk about him and Rey Mysterio in 2002 at SummerSlam? One of the greatest opening matches still probably in ever. You want to talk about him and Rock at No Way Out in 2000s? Having a fucking classic? Him and Triple H at Royal Rumble in the 2001? You want to talk about Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 21? Want to talk about Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle, and Undertaker at WrestleMania No Way Out in 2006? I can go on and on about Kurt Angle. Him and Chris Benoit at Royal Rumble. Every damn person on this list, I'm pretty sure Kurt Angle's had a match with. Him and Edge in the 2000s at No Mercy, at No Way Out when he had to cut his hair off. Hair versus hair match. Him and Samoa Joe at their first time wrestling. Him beating Samoa Joe in that match. Him and RVD has had matches in WWE and in TNA. Him and Jeff Hardy had cross paths when they were in the Hardy. He was in the Hardy Boys, and Kurt Angle and Stone Cold, and like him and The Rock didn't fuck with each other. Bro, everybody on this list, Kurt Angle's had a match with. Every single person. Every single fucking person. One of the best matches of all time is him and Kurt Angle at Royal Rumble. He is the reason for why John Cena is even in WWE. The first time you saw John Cena was because of Kurt Angle. Do we need to continue this shit? Do we need to continue this shit? Do we need to continue this conversation? Kurt Angle is number two. Like it's not even close. But at number one, there's only one person that I would have in front of Kurt Angle in the 2000s. And this person is a man that had to come back in the 2000s, and that is Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I love Bret Hart, but I think Shawn is better. That's just me. I love Bret, but Shawn's better. I said that shit. Shawn in 2002 comes back from a debilitating back injury. People don't think he's ever going to come back. He's never going to come back. That match gets him and the fact that was his first match in 4 years at SummerSlam 2002. I don't know how Shawn Michaels put on that match. I have no idea. The next time we see Shawn Michaels, he's in Survivor Series in the Elimination Chamber. He wins his 5th and last championship, World Heavyweight Championship of his career. He goes to Armageddon and have a 3 stages of hell match with Triple H. I don't know how Shawn Michaels has done any of this shit. WrestleMania 19, him and Chris Jericho. one of the best fucking matches of all time, in my mind. One of the best matches. He gets in a feud with Evolution, goes through all them to lead to Royal Rumble 2004. Him and Triple H in the last man standing match for the World Heavyweight Championship. One of the best matches that you'll ever see. WrestleMania 20. He fights Triple H and Chris Benoit. Backlash. He fights Triple H and Chris Benoit. He fights Triple H in Bad Blood in a Hell in a Cell match. Every year, this man was getting better and better and better. The fact that this man's career was over, he continues to have great fucking matches. Him and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 21. Shawn Michaels is the only person that I would have in front of Kurt Angle. All of this leads to 2009, where he fights The Undertaker at WrestleMania in one of the greatest WrestleMania matches, one of the greatest wrestling matches I've ever seen. When people say that might be the greatest wrestling match of all time, that's not a fucking joke. That's not even they're not lying to you, bro. The fact that they were that advanced in their careers and to go out there and put on that type of fucking match, bro, I don't know how the fuck they did that. One of the greatest matches of all time. This man is called Mr. WrestleMania. And if you actually he's called Mr. WrestleMania. You know Shawn Michaels has a losing record at WrestleMania? Nobody gives a fuck. He's Mr. WrestleMania. Like, bro, like, come on, bro. Shawn is that dude, bro. Shawn is that dude, bro. I don't give a shit what nobody say. Shawn is that dude, bro. He elevated Triple H so much. Even though Triple H was already the man, but when he got in that rivalry with Shawn Michaels, that made Triple H even more. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And that is it. That is the top 10 list, man, for the night. That is it, man. And number 1, Shawn Michaels. And number 2, Kurt Angle. Number 3, John Cena. Number 4, Chris Benoit. Number 5, AJ Styles. Number 6, The Undertaker. Number 7, Jeff Hardy. Number 8, Edge. Number 9, RVD. And number 10, Samoa Joe. That is all. That is all. That is all. Next week, my top 10 list takes a trip to TNA. Oh, yeah. TNA. My top 10 wrestlers in TNA next week. That is next week. Talk to you guys next week. Till next time, I am Brandon Janeau. Peace.